So here at the Progressive Voice, we haven't, I should say, covered too much international news, but I found this story that I feel that is so important we talk about because I almost feel like we kind of forget that this type of stuff still exists. There's this horrifying and tragic and disappointing story about how there was a video of, I think, like five Pakistani women who were having like fun, singing, just enjoying themselves, whatever they were doing, right? I think it was at like a wedding of some sort or something like that. So, I don't know if you guys know what honor killings are, but basically it's like if they deem it against their religion or that they're sinful or an abomination, that they should be killed. That they should be killed and that murder is justified even though they still murdered the person. So I think it's quite self-explanatory how despicable that is, but we will break it down as we go through these quotes. So it's from the Washington Post. It says, quote, even in Pakistan, where hundreds of, quote, honor killings are reported every year, this case was extreme. According to court filings and interviews with people who investigated it, the families confined the girls for weeks, threw boiling water and hot coals on them, then killed them and buried them somewhere in the Kohistan hills. So what they're breaking down here is that honor killings are not usually they're horrible, right? But they're not usually as brutal as this case was, which they basically what you would call that is torture, right? Because it's trying to kill someone but make it as long as possible, make it as painful as possible. So they threw boiling water and hot coals on these women, and then they killed them afterwards and then buried them somewhere in these hills. It's so terrible because it's 2016 is December 17, meaning we're very, very close to 2017, so that would be the new saying, but you know, we're often talking about different things where it's like, oh, maybe, you know, I see a lot about how the pay for women sports players are lower and stuff because they get less ratings or something like that. Now, maybe that's something that's very big deal, but I don't see too much attention coming here where Pakistan, keep in mind, Pakistan's a nuclear capable country. They have nuclear weapons, right? They have nuclear weapons. But they're still taking out honor killings in which they literally kill people for things that aren't even part of the law in America. So I feel that it's just the women's rights internationally are not paid enough attention to and tried to change, and that's why when we see people trying to help, they're so monumental because it's so important in today's age, and it's honestly just embarrassing that in today's day and age we still have this that where religion and culture are still oppressing women and preventing them from doing what they want or even just having the simplest fun, which is what life's really supposed to be about, is fun and work and all that type of stuff. But it's just so saddening and disheartening to know that this is still going on in other countries, and kind of goes to show you how kind of good position and lucky we are. But there needs to be some fighting done to change this. So we got a last quote here. Quote, the story illustrates many of the reasons Pakistani officials have failed to curb the problem of honor killings. These include the cruel sway of traditional tribal councils, known as jirgas, over uneducated villagers, the lengths to which such leaders may go to defy state authority, and the casual worthlessness they assign to the rights, lives, and even identities of young women. So I think this points it out very well. The fact that this happens so often, I've seen stories about this, and the fact this is legal is extremely embarrassing. It's a national, not like a world embarrassment, and there needs to be something done to change this because this is not how people, and specifically women, should be treated, regardless of what they choose to do or how they want to live their lives, or even just have some fun by singing and being joyful and just rejoicing. So this needs to be changed now.